What happens to the New York Knicks if you take away their rebounding superpowers? I'm Trevor Lane for the Basketball Bulletin. Subscribe right here to the channel. We're getting our subscribers up before the season starts. So the New York Knicks lost Isaiah Hartenstein over the summer to the Oklahoma City Thunder. He left in free agency. Now they get bad news on big man Mitchell Robinson. Check this out. Knicks center, this is from Yaron Weitzman, said Knicks center Mitchell Robinson is not fully recovered from his May foot surgery. And will not be ready for the start of the 24-25 season, according to a league source. The team is targeting a December or January return, but that depends on the rehab process. The Knicks' priority is to be smart with Robinson's rehab. They do not want to rush him back before he's 100%. The Knicks also maintain that they're confident in the current depth and versatility of their roster. Robinson underwent the procedure after suffering a stress injury to his left foot during the playoffs. He also had surgery on his left foot in December after suffering a stress fracture. So 2 stress fractures in a row, or stress injuries in a row, and now Mitchell Robinson is not going to be ready to start the season for the New York Knicks. Now, how bad is this? The Knicks, their main thing, their thing that they were the best at, and literally the best team in the NBA, was offensive rebounding. They had the highest offensive rebound percentage in the league. Mitchell Robinson, on a per-game basis, ranked second in the NBA in offensive rebounds. Isaiah Hartenstein, on a per-game basis, ranked 7th in the NBA. Those are 2 guys in the top 10. Now, per game, it skews it a little bit because there was that period where Robinson was out. It's not like they were playing all the time together, but still, you had 2 phenomenal bigs on the offensive glass, and now both are out. One gone to another team, the other one lost due to injury for the New York Knicks. So where does that leave New York in terms of the depth on their roster? Well, it's getting thin pretty quick. This is a tough blow. Take a look. Jericho Sims would probably slot in as the starting center at this point. And he's a backup quality big, but as a starter on a team that has championship goals, we'll see how that plays out. Mitchell Robinson not available. Precious Achiuwa will have to play some minutes at the 5, but he's only 6'8". Julius Randle, Tom Thibodeau has already talked about using Julius Randle at the 5. He said 10 to 15 minutes a night. And my initial response for Randle at the 5, 10 to 15 minutes a night was, that's great. I mean, that's full. Thibodeau said that in context of not trying to not play him too many minutes at the 5. He doesn't want him to bear too much of that burden. 10 to 15 minutes a night is essentially full backup center responsibilities. That was the thinking initially, that he would be backing up Mitchell Robinson, and you have Robinson in there for, say, 25 minutes. Then you can get 15 minutes out of Julius Randle. Well, there you go. You only have 8 minutes left to try to cover at the center position. Instead, though, 10 to 15 minutes a night at the 5 for Randle, that still leaves maybe as many as 38 other center minutes to try to fill with the likes of Jericho Sims and Precious Achiuwa. That could be problematic for the Knicks. Now, they do have some guards who can rebound the basketball. Josh Hart is one of, if not the best rebounding guard in the NBA. So they are still going to be formidable there. But without Mitchell Robinson, without Isaiah Hartenstein, this is a significant blow to the Knicks' ability to dominate on the glass. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, when we look at this, the Knicks maintain that they are confident in the current depth and versatility of their roster. Of course they are. What else are they going to say? Oh, no, we're screwed? No, of course they're going to say they're confident in the current depth and versatility of their roster. But now it makes even more sense why they've spent their summer trying to find another big, but they have not been able to trade for one as of this moment. They've been trying to find another big out there on the market, have not been able to get it done and land somebody. And now you got to wonder, what did the Knicks do from here? This is certainly going to set them back, especially when we mentioned that Chris Herring said that Julius Randle, recovering from his own surgery, should be back by or around the start of the regular season. What if Julius Randle isn't even 100%? This could take a lot of the shine off of that Knicks-Celtics opening night matchup that I'm thrilled for. I know a lot of people around the NBA are so excited about, but no Mitchell Robinson. Julius Randle probably won't be 100% if he's even a go, and you lost Isaiah Hartenstein. The Knicks could be extremely depleted on opening night, and that is certainly not the way they want to start a season in which, again, they added Mikal Bridges. It's been a big, eventful summer for New York. They've got the pieces to contend for a championship, but starting things out already behind the eight ball in terms of injuries, that is far from ideal. But maybe it's fitting. The Celtics get to open their season against a very injured Knicks team, and that's exactly what they did in the Eastern Conference playoffs this past season as well. Just hit one injured team after another after another. They essentially had a bye all the way to the NBA Finals. Now, that's not to say the Celtics were not the best team last season or deserving of a championship. Don't hear what I'm not saying there, Celtics fans, but they did essentially get a bye all the way to the finals because they just played one insanely injured team after another in the playoffs, and now they get to start their season, their 24-25 championship campaign, their quest to defend their title. They get to start it against a very now injured Knicks team as well. Now, what will this mean for the Knicks? Well, fortunately, they play in the Eastern Conference. And in the Eastern Conference, it's not like the West where there's going to be really good teams that don't even make the play-in the Western Conference. That's just the state of the West. It is insanely deep. Not so with the East. You look at the Eastern Conference, as long as the Knicks stay above 500, which even without these guys, they've got the wing depth I think they need. They may not have their full powers in terms of rebounding the basketball until later on in the season. Hopefully Robinson is back to full strength by, let's say, February. But as long as they can play at least 500 basketball, they should be okay. Worst case, they get off to a really slow start or something like that, and they find themselves in the play-in. But at that point, they would probably be the team that nobody wants to see in round one should they slip that far. But I think in the Eastern Conference, they'll be just fine. You've got below 500 teams that make the play-in the East. You've got the Brooklyn Nets in that conference who project to be really bad. The Hornets might get a little bit better, but the Wizards are going to be terrible. The Pistons are going to be terrible. The Hornets are still not going to be that formidable. I'm not expecting much out of the Raptors. You've got a lot of really bad teams that you can feast upon and kind of build up your win total here. So I'm not worried about the Knicks like not making the playoffs or something like that. If they were in the West, yeah, okay, maybe we could worry a little bit. But in the Eastern Conference, they should be just fine. Also worth noting that the wing depth that they now have is particularly guys like OG Anunoby. He does have experience playing up. He even defended Joel Embiid a bit last season. So again, while it's not ideal, I think the Knicks can find ways to get through. You just have to keep your fingers crossed and hope that Mitchell Robinson does get back to 100% and doesn't suffer another injury sometime during the season. The Knicks, the goal has to be get to 100% by the playoffs. Be ready to go for the postseason. Being in the Eastern Conference helps with that, but this is where their plan to not rush Mitchell Robinson back, it makes sense because you need him healthy if you're going to truly be able to go where you want to go in the postseason. But it's still definitely not what we were hoping to hear regarding a very exciting Knicks team, a Knicks team that is a lot of fun to watch. And now this is taken a little bit away from that big opening night matchup with the Celtics. And it's taken, I think, the top competitor for the Celtics to come out of the Eastern Conference. For the time being, it probably drops them down a tier in my rankings. But everybody, let me know what you think. Let me know in the comments section. The Knicks losing Mitchell Robinson. How big of a deal is this that he won't be ready to go to start the season? Does this force the Knicks to change their play style a little bit, or do they continue to try to bludgeon teams on the offensive glass despite now not having Hardenstein, not having Mitchell Robinson, and maybe not even having 100% healthy Julius Randle? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Till next time, everybody. See ya and stay safe.